that's live again, I hope. And are we live over here as well? Let's go back to my YouTube. Does this show me live again? Testing. Maybe because I've got Photoshop sucking up 90% of my RAM, it's really affecting the stream. But let's see if that got it to work. Check. Are we back, perhaps? Let's try that one again. So now we've got a thumbs up, maybe. Try again, live again. Let's see if that maybe is behaving there. Bring my chat box again. So that was weird. My software said I was still streaming, but then my apps, but then my control panel in Photoshop said, I mean in YouTube said that I wasn't. So that's so weird. I didn't get any notification that it crashed. So maybe that's a portent to how this might not fully work. What I'm intending to do here, because if we look at my Resource Manager, what does my Resource Manager say? My CPU is cranking and my RAM, hello again. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that, but my RAM is 87% used and the CPU is chugging along and the GPU. So I was just saying that maybe because I'm trying to do a very, which is surprising. Magic Arena is a graphically intense app and my streams run fine. So I was thinking maybe Photoshop is too graphically intense or something and it crashed the stream, but we'll see. That's why this is just sort of a test of things. So I think we're back. Let me just check a couple of little settings here. Settings, where's my settings? There is settings over here. Save that. Guess we'll just leave it as is there. Okay, so we're back. Let's proceed. So the last thing I was just saying was inverting the colors as is. It's extremely blue, but if I first neutralize the color cast with this technique that I learned, I'm going to call it Technique 3.0 because I've been working these various techniques for months, and then I learned a Technique 4.0 today. So neutralizing the color cast gives me this result, which I think looks much better. But then I'll try Technique 4 that I found today. So if I go back to the original negative, image, adjustment, match color, and then there's a hidden item here, neutralize. So if I click neutralize on that, then I invert it, get that result. Oh, okay. So neutralizing with this result gives me a very yellow starting point, whereas neutralizing with this is a little colder blue, and then with no neutralization it's very blue. I should name these things. Okay, so this one over here is no neutralization, and this one here is with call that one camera raw neutralization. And then over here, this one is match color. So 3 results with the same technique. And I'll do a quick save here in case this crashes. So starting with that original negative, and I was saying earlier that photography is the negative is the starting point, and then the end result is a process, and whatever the photographer likes is the end result. But we have that starting point, we have these two end results. Now, there's more techniques to do here, so I'm going to, out of this path, then do another technique to fix up the colors a little bit more. Make a selection, adjust color. So we get that result. I like that. Now, what if I do the same thing with that path? Image, adjust, auto color. Okay, so comparing here. It's almost exactly the same. It's almost exactly the same. Now, one way to be sure about that, crop out the extra stuff so there isn't the other distractions around the image to distract. Alright, so with camera raw neutralization and then color adjustment, it looks like that. And then with color match, it looks like that. So my histogram over here, the distribution of color, if we set it to RGB, so it's a little bit more to the left, moved over a little to the right, and what that chart is saying is the distribution of dark and light pixels. So on the left side are the dark pixels, on the right side are the light pixels, then vertically is how much of them. So all the way to the left would be pure black, all the way to the right would be pure white, everything in between. And then at a certain pixel, like let's say they're 10% black, how high it is how much of it there is. So somewhere around here, there's a lot of dark pixels. So if we kind of divide it in half, there's a lot of dark pixels. And then on the right side, there's less bright pixels, but then a spike in very bright pixels. And we can see that in the image. There's a lot of darkness in the image. There's the shower curtains over here, the hallway behind me in the mirror. There's a lot of dark. Then there's a spike in bright colors, that spike there, because it's the overexposed window looking outside. So this is known as a histogram, and that's what it's showing us. Dark pixels to the left, light pixels to the right, vertically how much of pixels. So by looking at that, like that, so we can see that the image is brighter, and the histogram shows it's brighter because see it kind of moves over to the right a little bit. Through the raw technique versus the match color technique. See how it shifted a little to the right, and it shows on the image. It's a slightly brighter image. In the darker image, I like that there's more contrast between the dark and the light tones, so it's more dramatic. But if you brighten up overall, you see more of the image. So let me ask that, which do you like more? The darker, slightly darker, more dramatic version, or the one that's been brightened up a little bit? So darker versus brighter. They both look good to me, but I might go for the darker one. I kind of like that contrast, as I said, between the pixels, between the range of colors. That's what I would go for. You like the darker one, yeah. So there's that. Okay, so let me open another image. So I went to downtown San Diego. I shot these on January 11, recently, last week. So I went downtown, shot some photos downtown. All right, so here's this image to work on. I was very happy with this camera. This is a camera from 1961, which is what, 60. This is a 60-year-old camera. It still works. It takes great photos. Again, if I just do a quick inversion with no color correction, here's the image. If I zoom in to 100% to see the detail, you see a person here, you can read the text. So I'm across the street there, and zoom in and enhance, as we've seen in the movies so many times. So this was happening at Ash Street, 900 West Block. Pacific Sotheby's International Realty. There's a phone number there, and it captured a lot of detail from me being so far away. I can even read over here. What does that say? Pacific Sotheby's International Realty brings San Diego real estate to the world. A bunch of names over here, maybe of cities and the like. For info, call, whatever. Anyway, I'm just looking at this photo at 100% zoom and just looking at the details. There's a fire extinguisher on that balcony, I guess. Maybe it's just a red sign. Various balconies. Is anyone looking at us? Do we see any ghosts peeking at us from the rooms? So I'm very happy with the sharpness of the image. Even further there to the next block over. It's not tack sharp as the closest things, of course, because there's a limitation to any optics and what is in focus at a time. Some fun balloons over there. Okay, so that was just a quick invert colors. The actual process, though, to get good colors. So I'm going to duplicate that layer, then neutralize the color cast via the camera raw technique. So do it there. Then reverse the colors. I don't want to look too carefully, because if I did catch a ghost in there, I don't want to be traumatized. Alright, so that's much better there, that color result there. But I will also look at the other technique that I was learning today, where we go over to match color and have it neutralize it for me. So the other technique is that I manually tell it, this is the orange color to get rid of. But through this, it's just a button that says neutralize. So somehow it figures out what color to neutralize, which may or may not be correct. And then when we reverse color, there's that. So again, the manual camera raw neutralization step 1 leaves a sort of a colder, bluer image, versus the automatic neutralization makes a more orange-ish, warmer image, but it's not fully neutralized in that the black border, which is supposed to be black, is black on the camera raw path, but not in the auto neutralization. There's still a heavy yellow there. So obviously if you crop the image you won't see that, but pure black is not pure black, and it should be. You're usually taking photos with real colors, and a black that is yellow is skewing the whole image. So, but then the next part of the process is, okay, let's crop out the black border, because it's not going to be part of the final image. Alright, so crop that out. And then we tell it image auto color. Ooh, I like that. So it made it much warmer. It made it much more inviting. So before and after. The colors also seemed a little bit weak, and now they seem a little stronger, more saturated. I like that. And if we do that to the auto neutralize, same thing. Oops. Same thing. So compare and contrast. Ah, okay. And looking at the histogram, so manual neutralization, auto neutralization. It's doing the same thing as the cat picture, There's a little bit more brightness overall. The auto neutralization, which, depending on the image, the cat image was more dramatic in the darker version. And this is so close because it was in big, bright sunlight. There's a little difference, but I don't know which. There's still this version that has some of the darkness around it, which is nice. And even this one that's technically brighter, as we see in the histogram. Again, it's shifting over. See how there's a bump up. There's more dark pixels here. But then on the other version, that's been flattened, moved over, so that's literally, technically less dark pixels. I like them both. And if I wanted, again, the dramatic, hey there Gabe, how's it going? If I wanted the dramatic color versus slightly less dramatic, but I like both of those. Well, let's ask Gabe that just joined us here. So the darker one seems clear. Okay, let me ask you both actually. So, and also Gabe, you just came in. I'll catch you up on what's happening in a moment. But which one of these do you like better, Gabe? Do you like this version of the photo that's a little darker? Or do you like this version of the photo that's a little lighter? Again, okay, let me look at it this way. Oops. Let me look at it this way. Oh, here we go. Let me look at it. Let me show it to you more here. Just there. Do we like that version? I'll do it like this. All right, do we like that version that's a little bit darker? Or do we like this version that's a little bit brighter? So it's very subtle. So there's the darker version, which I like. As I look at it again, I'm liking this contrast. You see there's this darker building in the back, whereas if you go to the brighter one, it kind of washes it out a little bit. So I see what you're saying there about the darker one seems clearer. Yeah, I think the darker one, yet again, is a little bit of a better one. All right, so Gabe, let me catch you up, and let me catch up everyone that's coming into the stream. You came in to watch some Magic gameplay, but we're changing it up this week just as a little bit of a test. I'm not going to be doing Magic gameplay this stream. I'll get back to it, of course, next time. But what I'm doing this time is just to kind of do a little bit of a test with photography, a photography stream, loading up Photoshop, loading up some of my recent photos, and just playing with them in Photoshop to kind of continue to learn and get better at photography and the like. So this is a photo that I took. All of these are photos that I took, of course, but this is a photo that I took downtown San Diego, Ash Street, near Pacific Coast Highway. If you know the area, do you know the Midway Museum, the Star of India, that area right there? That's where that's happening at. So I can actually do this because we're running my full desktop here. I can show you right on the map where this happened at. So downtown San Diego, over here. So there's Coronado, north of it right here. So zooming in here, there's the Midway Museum, the pier, etc. Broadway. So okay, well let's look at it more. Let's look at it fancier. We have the technology. We can go into aerial view. So here you go. To all our international friends, here's an aerial view of downtown San Diego. So that makes it harder to see the streets actually. Oh, here it is. Ash. No, that's A Street. Oh, here we go. Ash Street. So I parked, when I went to take photos, I parked right here in front of whatever this hotel is. So my car was like literally right there. You know, I think my car was literally on that parking spot right there. No, it was this one. I remember. I literally parked right there where that gray car is. And then I walked up north over here, took a right to the east, went forward over here, and so the photo that I was just showing all of you is right there. Me standing right here. See my mouse cursor? Me standing right here, looking at that corner right there. So going back to my photo, there it is right there. That's that corner, Ash Street, at that intersection, which is right there. So if we zoom in there, That's the corner of the building that I'm taking a photo of, where I'm standing right around here. That's funny to kind of see from that perspective, from the bird's eye view, and then me being there. Dark photo seems to accentuate the objects better. I see it balance-wise, maybe the darker one in this case. Yeah, we'll be exploring some other photos that I have here, and we'll see some various contrasts. It's amazing. Yeah, the eye of Sauron upon everything in the world. So, and then even the perspective right here, I don't know if you can see it, and it's almost dizzying, that as I'm kind of moving the map around, the buildings are moving in perspective. And this is all computer generated. I don't know how they even do this, but it's partly computer generated, partly real life. But you get, it's like I'm playing SimCity. Did any of you ever play SimCity back in the day? Karen and you partied New Year's ago on a yacht off the bay around there, around the Star of India. Very nice. Yeah. There's some yachts right around there, so it must have been one of those. And the Star of India, I think, is right there. I think that's an older photo, because right now it's parallel to the street, and right there looks to be perpendicular. So, all right. So the photo that I took was that one right there, and I was showing earlier that if I zoom in to it 100%, you can see all of this detail. You can even almost see the person's license plate and everything there. So I was saying earlier that the camera that I used for this is this right here, the Konica S2 from 1961. Still worked. That's the photo that I was just showing you, with this vintage camera that I got on eBay, probably $20 or something like that. Plus another $10 shipping or something, so very affordable for a vintage 60s camera that still takes great images. The film was brand new Fujifilm that I just bought at Walmart this past year, so it's new film. And the sharpness of it all at 100%. Really enjoying that sharpness. So there's one of these photos that I shot there. Close that. Let's see what's another good photo maybe. Yeah, here's another one of these buildings. Let's look at this building. This one's kind of dramatic. It was mostly architectural photography, so no people. All right, so it is the negative itself, the original film negative, and scanned. So we have the negative image. The histogram over here shows me. Half expected to see someone staring back at me. I bet if we look carefully on some of these, maybe there's people looking on some of these. All right, so if we look at the histogram over here, here's the distribution of tones. Now we're looking at the negative of it, so this is backwards. And this is something that I had to get used to. Once I reverse the image, it'll make sense, but the histogram shows from left to right, dark pixels to light pixels. But we're looking at the negative, so this is backwards. So we're seeing on the right side is the dark pixels, on the left side are the light pixels. So right here, there's relatively, if we divide it in half, there's like relatively less dark pixels and apparently relatively more light pixels. And a good photograph has a good distribution throughout, although it depends on the photo. And a good photo does not have a lot of the pixels spiking all the way up, because that means you overexposed it, you blew out to the image, you lost detail. So histogram looks okay. And again, it's backwards, so it's a negative, so it's backwards. So I'm going to duplicate that layer. We're going to neutralize that orange color cast first to give accurate color. We're going to tell it that orange there is not what I want. Then we'll reverse it. That. And now we're seeing the reversal. Okay, so here it shows from some value here, there's like no really dark pixels. There's some medium dark, there's a spike of medium dark, most likely because of the border, that pure black border, which is not part of the image. And there's a little bit of a dip, so probably the actual dark pixels are here. Not too much of them. And then there's some amount of bright-ish pixels, nothing completely white, because it goes from black to white. So that's how that's what that histogram means. And I will do it again, but with this other technique of the auto neutralization. I'm kind of we're seeing, after doing it 2 or 3 times, I guess I kind of would see that this technique, the auto neutralize, is not that good, because if the only difference is this one's slightly darker, this one's slightly brighter, I probably wouldn't even bother to check both ways if I just know this is going to be slight dark versus bright. But let's see here. So auto neutralize, reverse that, then we'll crop out the unneeded border. Then, just on a pure image, we go into auto color. Ooh, that's nice. And then on the other one, auto color. Okay, so once again, we have that versus that. The difference here isn't just about brightness and the like, and we can see on the histogram is very similar in that the large chunk of the data is here versus here. It's almost the same. I think what's shifted here is the color. So this one's still very blue-ish, and this one's a lot more yellowish. All right, it's not just simply what's dark and what's bright and what's dark. It's actually shifts in color. On this one, I really like the blue of the sky. It looks blue like the sky. And then on this one over here, it's starting to look purple-ish. Hey there, Stevie. How are you doing? Welcome. I'll catch you up on what we're doing in just a moment. You look at the negatives inverted. This is a neat effect. Yeah, well, the original, because again, this is all with negative film photography. The negative itself, this physical negative, is literally negative colors, just the way of technology that was invented 100 years ago. And then after that, we reverse the colors and see it as real images. But then the thing is that the negative is a starting point for your end result. And as we're seeing here, even just with some simple, now if you don't know Photoshop, this is magic, but what I'm doing is relatively simple Photoshop parlor tricks. So let me ask all of you, now that we've got more people in the chat, what do you like now? Do you like, so here's version A or version 1, and then here's version 2. I can put them side by side, actually. Just hold on here. Let's put them side by side. Window, arrange, 2 up. Okay, I see. Okay, we'll do it side by side. Just one moment. Window, arrange, 2 up. There we go. All right, so if we... Okay, and then it reversed it. So, okay, version 1 is on the right and version 2 is on the, let's just say, what's left and right. So what do you all like here? There's still more tweaks that I'm thinking of doing, but at this point in the process, I like the blue of the sky, like I'm saying over here, and I like the purple there less, but I like the yellowish of the building versus the bluish of the building. So I like the yellow building more, but I like the blue sky more. And obviously there's ways to combine the two if you want to work even harder at it. Both look amazing, but the one with the deeper blue is visually appealing. So you're liking the one that's more monochromatic, not monochromatic, but dominant blue on the right. You're saying you're so bad at it, you like how both look. It's just, and this is art, so there's no right answer. Whatever you like, whatever feels right, whatever you see, try this. Close your eyes and then look at it like that, and then the first one that stands out to you is the one that you like more, perhaps. So, of these two, just as is at this point, I would probably say I like the one on the left better. And again, it's not a wrong answer. Even though I don't like the purple sky as much, I just think the strength of the orange-ish, yellowish building is better to me. Yeah, it was a nice sunny day, so that captures it also there on the left, where on the right is a little bit too cold. Now, obviously more tricks to do here. On the one on the right, I'm gonna go over here too. Add a filter of warmth. Look at that. I add a warmth filter to it. There's before, there's after, very subtle. With that, and then again, there's still dozens more things I can do, but now I added a little bit more warmth, more yellowish to the one on the right. So on that, there's a before, there's an after, before and after. So on that extra bit of warmth, warming there, now I'm seeing I'm keeping the blue that I like. It's making the building slightly more orange, like I like on the left. Zoom in. This orange on the right is looking kind of pale, although the orange when it's bright looks really nice. This is all a much more appealing yellow. And then on this side of the building, so no wrong answers, just kind of exploring, and that's what I've been doing on and off. I have way too many hobbies, of course, and so this is what I've been doing on and off now that I got back into photography, playing with photos. Oh, so let me catch you up, Stephen. No magic stream tonight. I'm trying out something slightly different where I'm going to play with some photos for a little while. I don't think I'll go into 3 hours of this, but I'm going to do it for a little bit just to kind of practice a little bit and hang out with all of you and chat and look at photos. And so I'm just going to be opening up some photos that I took recently with my film cameras. This is what I was saying. So Gabe and Steven, now that I have you here in person, I've been trying to get a photo get together on the group chat, and people say yes and no, and then they cancel and all of that. So let's see if possibly we can get a photo meetup going on. I think also Catherine said she wanted to get in on this, and I think Silvana said she wanted to do it too, and even Mason. So I think there's enough people that are saying, yeah, let's do it, but let's see if we actually get it done. We'll probably end up doing it at the mall, because when we started to say, hey, let's go to Imperial Beach to do this, more people started to drop off like flies. So we'll probably do a photo get together at the mall, because it's already, everyone knows where it's at and such. So I'm gonna, as the next days and weeks come in, I'm gonna put it in the club chat again about who wants to do photos, and this is what we would be doing. Bring your camera, we'll take photos, we'll learn from each other, we'll have fun, we'll take a drink every time, take a shot every time we take a good photo, whatever we want, to just jazz things up rather than magic. Obviously the magic part is fun, but maybe we'll do some photo stuff, a photo walk. You're always down together for photos. You just used to break it out. Yeah, exactly. That's something to do. All right, so cool photo. Let me open another one. Oh, and thanks for saying about the perspective as well. Okay, let's look at some more from that photo walk. About Otay Ranch Mall beginning of February would be great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because when we started to say, let's try to go to IB, people were or not quite there. So if we do it at the mall, as usual, the Otay Ranch Mall, people are already there. All right, so this image, technique 1, step 1, manually neutralize the color cast, take away that orange, then reverse, so we get that. Even straight out of the box, that looks, you'd be 10% down for it. Just kidding, I see 100 there. But just straight out of the box reversal here, that looks nice, even without the next technique that I would do. Yeah, let's zoom in on the depth, speaking of which. So again, this is a camera from 1961. This is older than all of us, unless some of you are lying about your age. This camera's from 1961, and it still captures all of this depth from this closest. Okay, this is at Grand Palm Court. Let me show you on the map where that's at. Jumping back to the map. So I parked over here on this bottom left area. I walked up to the end of this block. I went to the right. On that corner there, I took a shot of that building from a moment ago. Then I crossed the street and started to walk south. So I am right around here, actually. I'm right here exactly. I'm standing right around here, looking at this building to this side over here. Actually, from there to this diagonal over here. So this is my shot here. This photo that I just took right here, right? Because we can see the stoplight, Grand Palm Court, and then the street going south. The next street over, I can't quite read that, but it's the next street over. This is a white building. These are these blue buildings. And then if you look at the map, here's the white building. And this really tall, look at that, we're almost touching it, blue building here. So and then the other stop light is there. So I'm standing, I think, at that street corner right there, looking towards over here. And it's this corner of the white building and then this corner of the big blue building. So yeah, look, there it is. There's oh, that's interesting. I wish I could rotate it, but this is the computer generated aspect of it, because that's not what the building actually looks like. Or does it? Or am I looking at the other? Oops. Am I looking at the other? Oh, no, it is. I'm thinking of the other building. Never mind. Yeah, there's the white. There's the completely yellow. It was the other shot. Sorry. There's the completely yellow tower. And then on the Bing map, it's not a Google map. I'm using Windows, so it's the Bing maps. On the maps, there's the yellow right there. We're going to be grinding 2 classes, thankfully once a week, so we'll have more free time. What classes are they? Do you remember how many units? If it's like 5 units each, then it's going to be a grind. But if they're 2 units each or so, it's doable. Is that the same van? That's a good point. There's a van right there, isn't there? There's a van right there. Is that the same van in my photo right there? Is it an abandoned van that ended up in the photo? So there's the van. And then on the satellite image, there's a van. Who knows if the satellite image distorts? No, it's not. This is a food truck. I can tell now. It's a food truck, a taco truck. Do you have any special name for them in New Zealand, Mark? We call them taco trucks, food trucks. What else do we call them? These mobile food distribution units. Because it's got the top vents that open up to vent out the food. And then the swing door on the side there where people can stand and buy their food. Web imaging and CSS. Oh, okay. Very cool. CIS 124. That should be with instructor Marianne Gibson. She's very good. Not to show off, but she was my protege, so I taught her everything I know. So you should be in good hands. And CSS, I think that's with instructor Giovengo. I'm not familiar with their work, but I think they'll do a good job. So, food trucks. They're just simply food trucks. They don't have some cool Kiwi name, perhaps, sometimes. Let me ask you this. It's from across the gulch, or the ditch, or I forget what you call it, but a kazi. Do you wear a kazi? Did you bring your kazi to the beach? Is that something that I'm saying right? Does it matter in New Zealand, or is that an Australian thing? Because I heard that on some video about Australian slang, but I don't know if some of it passed the ditch, crossed the ditch. So, back to the photo. Okay, so this was... Okay. I was gonna check the other technique, so back to the negative. And we will auto-neutralize the color cast. Kazi as in costume, as in swimsuit. So I heard that as, I'm probably saying it wrong, kozi? Did you wear your kozi? I'm probably saying that wrong, apologies. But that's what I heard as a slang term for a swimsuit. You went through the degrees and you showed us how to look for that. Oh, very good. After looking through art and how much was left on that one. Good. So if you're very close to getting that degree, just finish the last classes. Okay, so neutralize it that way, and we've got that. Then we will crop out the border. Cross out the border, yeah? And we'll get this a little bit more focused on the image. Then we will do that, and then that. Okay, so now we've got another contrast of or comparisons. I think I'm seeing consistently that one technique makes the image darker where the other one is lighter, but also one is a little bit more blue versus a little bit more yellow. So depending what sort of theme, and maybe also the color, I guess you could also see it as a deeper color. So let me show that comparatively, side by side. So on the right side is the manual color technique, and on the left is the automatic color technique. So the automatic computer-generated color technique gives it a little bit more of a yellow cast, and the color doesn't seem as saturated. This is the thing you can spend all day on to work on one image, and you're gonna drive yourself crazy because they're both good and they both feel good and look good, but then you have to make a final decision about which one am I gonna stick with. The warmer colors on the automatic one are appealing. Yeah, exactly. I can look at them both and find things that I like on both, and for one moment there's something that I like on one, and then I look at the other one and I like that one too. So photography is challenging because, first of all, you have to take the photo, and this is a manual camera. It doesn't take it doesn't set the settings for you. You have to set it manually. So number one, you have to set your settings so that the image is not completely overexposed or completely underexposed, and the composition that you like. So that's step 1 and 2. Step 1, composition. Step 2, is it properly exposed? Then you bring it into your editor after scanning to then figure out, well, what do I want to get out of the scene? Do I want something artistic? Do I want something photorealistic? Photojournalistic, that is. Documentary. Do I want something artistic? If I was going to go for an artistic route, I might tweak colors in a less natural way, but pleasing. And if I was going for a photojournalistic way, I'd want to capture the real colors of the scene, which might be more boring, but accurate. Cappy's crazy running into everyday error in coding. Yeah, exactly. You put a period instead of a comma, and then the code doesn't work. And then you look at your code over and over and over, and you can't see the error until someone else looks at your code and they say, that should be a period, not a comma. And then it works. Alright, so this image... Okay, let's try this. We've been playing with these images in color, but how about we do this? I'm going to go back to the original negative. You can take a color image and turn it black and white, and that'll do interesting things. Let's play with that for a moment. We've already seen this image and the bright colors and all that cool stuff, but erase that from your mind for a moment and we'll do this. We'll make this into a black and white image. So I can go over to image, adjust, black and white with a whole bunch of other sub sliders to worry about, but I'll just go with defaults. Then reverse that. We have that. Okay, black and white image. Not dramatic enough. So I'm going to go to these levels here and bring up the contrast. Okay, so we've got before very flat black and white, but now more dramatic black and white. And obviously I can go to the extremes. With black and white, it's often with black and white photography, art photography, it is often better artistically to go more dramatically contrasty. Because right here, this is just, it's literally black and white. The color was stripped out and it's black and white. But if we then play with the contrast and such, now it's art. Now it's a dramatic image. Now it's not just black and white. And if I show it something like that, well, let me crop out those distracting, that's the edges of the negative. Same image that we were looking at a moment ago, now in a more dramatic black and white. Now you can see all the details there without the pesky color and the like. So what do we think of that? Going on this route of taking that image into black and white. So I like to do this once in a while, even though the image that I shot originally, of course, was in color. Sometimes I like to think, what might it look like if it was black and white? Yeah, it's got more of a noir look this way, a film noir look, because of the dramatic coloring. Let me just send a quick text message here. So same image. Now, one problem I would say of the image, because in it being black and white now, this now looks like a smudge, where earlier that lens flare, which was an orange-ish color of a light streak, now it looks like a smudge or damage to the negative, doesn't it? It looks like there's a blurry part right there. When it was in color, the color of the lens flare gave it this effect that I think hinders it this time when it's in pure black and white. A Bruce Springsteen music video, huh? Got some photos over here. Ooh, look at that. Let's take a little side detour for a moment. We've got some cool photos being shared by Gabe over here. So we'll jump over here to the Discord. A couple of shots at the... I like that. That's really nice. What was... which camera did you use for that? That sporty... that sporty Nikon that I saw before? It's a really nice close-up there of the logo of the mall. And then on the other shot, I've been seeing myself also that I liked it on some of these. We'll see that we've got these angles, these very oblique angles in the image. Now, I've said before, when people share photos, I love to kind of see more than the photo. Like if you all upload your photos and then I like to look in the background, like, what's that over there? I see someone shoot. Well, Discord also kept the original file name here, so I can tell exactly when you shot this. 2022, April 21 at 10:22 a.m. So, might not matter, but Discord kept your original file name, and it tells us that at 10:22 a.m. you shot this photo on April 20th last year. But that the one of the logo there looks really good. Might have used your Android phone. Okay. The saying often is the best camera is the one you've got with you. Cool, thank you for sharing that. So I need to reply to Felix. The new Turtles book coming out. Alright, so back to here. So there it is in black and white. And let's look at some more shots from that photo walk. Oh, I remember this one. So there's this sculpture of a seated person that is made out of letters. And I'll fix the image properly in a moment. I'm just looking at it in regular colors. So here's the shot. This one's again walking on that same part of the streets. So a moment ago, the photo I shot was right there. So further walking south. Well, here's where the limitation of the map feature fails. Look at these palm trees. These palm trees are being shown as silos, like little buildings. It's not smart enough to render them as actual palm trees. Do you see that? It's the semblance of the palm tree canopy, I guess, on the top, and then this tube representing the trunk. So that's funny. This map does great with square buildings, but then when you have to model, look at that, I can reach over and touch it. So it then fails with the palm trees. So the photo that I'm going to work on in a moment, going south on this street. Here it is. So I'm at this street corner right here, south, and this structure, which isn't being rendered very well, that's that sculpture in my photo. So I'm on this street looking south, which is this photo here. Now let me properly color correct it. And yeah, as I was getting ready to take that photo, I saw someone was about to cross, and I thought it might be cool for them to be in the shot. So I took the photo, and they were in the shot. So color correct it, then reverse it. Versus the auto color correction. Crop near Broadway's Like the area you also at the gas lamp close to the convention. I didn't get that far in this time that I was on the photo walk, but I have another one. I can pull that up from other photos that I took at another time that were at the convention center and the gas lamp quarter. Alright, so let me crop this. Then we do the color correction here. And on that one, this color correction. Then we'll compare side by side. Alright, so with this, they're very similar in this case, but it's still that the manual correction is a little bluish, a little more blue, a little darker. The auto color correction's a little brighter, a little yellowish. If we zoom in, alright, so just on this corner of the image, what do we like? What do we think on these two comparatively? Chris Hipkins confirmed as New Zealand leader. Picks deputy. Newsflash. So I guess he'll be stepping in on the 8th. So you got a new prime minister there, Chris Hipkins. Interesting. Breaking news. So these two, what do we like? The one on the left, the one on the right. Looking up at the tops. I think for the buildings, the left one darker is kind of nice, but I think for the people, the right one slightly brighter is a little nicer. So that walking person, I think, looks really cool. I think I caught them at a very good pose in their gait. And if you look on the back here, when I was zoomed out 100%, you might not have noticed it. But here, when I was zoomed out, but now here at 100%, now there were two ladies here that might have been tourists and the like. One of them is in the sculpture and the other one's taking the photo. And at a distance there, you don't fully notice the people. I like how this photo came out. I like that there's the dramatic person on the right side walking. You see that sculpture over there. Actually, let's do this. I haven't done this on my photo editings just yet. Part of what makes a good photo is its composition. So even after the fact, what I can do here is maybe crop this thusly, where did we need all of that other part of the scene? Maybe if we crop it at this point, this might be a stronger image because there's less to get in our way. So if I take that back, so we have the full composition there. With I don't think we even miss it cropping it down to here, because then we can focus on the more obvious parts of the image. The other parts might have been more distracting. And again, if this was for photojournalism, then cropping out that part would be too much, but for an art image, that's fair game. Once upon a time, I used to work at the W. Which one is that? The W, the Westin in downtown as a valet driver, way back near B or something. Oh, cool. Was that its name, the W? That doesn't sound familiar. Or was that its nickname? So cropping here, I think, makes it a stronger image. And this might be... So what about that? With the helicopter? Without. Maybe you didn't even notice there was a helicopter there. When I was, depending on what size you see it, you might not even notice it. But then as you see it at full size and the like, there's a helicopter there. But for the artistry of it, that might be a distracting element. Obviously, in real life, there was a helicopter at that moment, but it's not a documentary photo. It's not a photojournalism photo. So if you all didn't know that there was that element there, I feel that makes it a stronger image because there's a slightly little thing distracting there, little shape. Taking it out has one less distraction. I might even go down to here, this what do you call those things? Those light reflector cat's eyes things. What are those things called? So it is there physically in the real world. There is this there. But if I removed it, if you hadn't known that it was there, and this is the overthinking of making anything artistic and creative, because I would remove it from the final photo to have it symmetrical, that it's just the line and another line, and if the original marker is there, it kind of breaks up the symmetry of it, the cleanliness of it. And I'm not interested in doing a photojournalist result. Obviously, what I would do in this photo, there's a hair in it when I scanned it, and over here as well. So that obviously I would go in and just do a little bit of Photoshop magic like this, and it never was there. I have another one of it closer. Let me pull the other one up. Yep, these are plain old real trees in my photo, not computer-generated cylinder trees. So I crossed the street and I took a shot of it closer up. Let's look at that one closer up. I'm gonna go on this one straight to black and white, so you won't even see what it was originally, what colors were there. So I'll go straight to black and white. So black and white, reverse. Now here what I could do, let's do it this way. I am going to reverse it and then go into black and white and then play with these black and white modes. That's default black and white, blue filter, green filter, that's bad, red filter, that's bad, yellow filter, that's bad. Okay, blue filter seems interesting. Default is okay. Blue filter. What about one of these high contrast blue? Huh. That's horrible. High contrast. Blue. I like that. That's definitely dramatic. So since I was closer to the sculpture, you can see that it's made out of letters and numbers. There's a number 3, there's some Chinese letters there, I think I see some Arabic script over here, English letters here and there. Oh, there's the A in Japanese. So it's this international sculpture full of letters. There's a Greek letter psi, I think. Oh, I think that's an omega, Greek letter omega. And then from a distance, it's a seated person. Looking benevolently upon the construction. Here again, there is a lens flare there. So in color, that lens flare might have given it some character, but here in black and white, it looks like a smudge or damage to the image. Yeah, I think it looked good in black and white. Let's pull up this one. This is the last shot on the roll of film, and it cut off because it was at the very end of the roll, and then it didn't make it to the very end. So the previous frame is visible there. Just ignore that. So we have a biker, and let's do it in black and white first, and we'll see it in color. So we'll apply black and white. Oops. Reverse it. It's black and white, doesn't look dramatic enough. I think the blue filter... Okay, last time I think the red filter looked bad. So, you're having... Oops, let me allow that. This is funny. Message held for moderation. Sex-based term. Gabe, it didn't like what you wrote there. It claims that was a sex-based term. I will allow it. So it thinks scrumptious is a sex-based term, and it didn't allow it to go through. What kind of prudes are Twitch that they didn't let you use? Now it said add permitted term scrumptious. That's funny. You had some barbecue earlier, and a scrumptious patty burger. Burger patty. Yum. I actually had a burger earlier from Freddy's Frozen Custards. Have any of you been to that one? I think the only one in the area is in National City, and it's good. It's a smaller chain restaurant, and I go there once in a while. It's across the street from the In-N-Out in National City, actually. So the In-N-Out gets a lot of traffic, and if you try if you want an option, there's Freddy's. It's food all day long talking. And a new one opened in IB, In-N-Out. Are we talking about the one, is it further into IB, or is it the one at the corner of Coronado and the 5, where the Denny's used to be? Remember that Denny's was there for decades? Is that the one we're talking about, or is there one further into Imperial Beach? Alright, so here it is in black and white. It's okay, it's not dramatic enough. Let's The one on Coronado and the 5. Yep, that's the one that just opened. My parents live near there, actually. So if we go with blue filter, it's not that amazing. Red filter. Red filter is extremely film noir. Yellow filter, that's still not great, but not as dark as red. That's interesting. A moment ago, the red filter looked horrible, and here it kind of looks a little bit. And then a Novo and Pizza opened recently. Did the Novo open in on Seacoast Drive there at the very last street? And that Pizza Port, I don't know where that one is actually, so I gotta check that out. All right, what about a green filter? Not that great. High contrast blue, not that great. High contrast red, it's a mistake. Maximum white. So none of these built-in black and white filters look that good to me. So let's do one of the manual techniques. Right here. So I think that's a little better. Novo's by the bike trails on 13th Street. Really? On 13th Street. Oh, okay. At the end, I see, yeah. At the end, 13th Street at the end of the line where those bike trails start. I remember going to those bike trails when I lived there 30 years ago, and they were so scary, and you could have sworn a killer was going to come and get you and dump you into those little lagoon things. Do they still have them? That there were all of these like individual little deep puddles of grime and muck. I remember looking at them and just full of algae and little fishes and all of that, and just exploring that area when the world was a safer place. But still, I was scared that a killer was gonna kill me and throw me into them. Alpha starter pack waved in front of you. An alpha starter pack waved in front of you? What? Okay, tell us about that in a moment, and take a photo of it and put it in the Discord. But so here there's before and yeah, I know about the Novo and Otai. The first one that I knew about is over closer to where I live on Lane Avenue, and then they opened another one at the mall there, and then I guess their latest one is in IB, so they're doing very well, so that's good. So here's before, here's after. I think that's a good result. From this biker, looking at it 100%. Overall, the image is a little bit out of focus. I think this was the time that there was a little bit more shadows, so I didn't have the same settings as the other shots. So the whole image is at least a little blurry. I was probably shooting the other ones at 1/500th or so, and I probably cut this down to 1/60th. So it was a tease, just the box. With even the box itself, I see people on eBay. Let's take a look at this over here. Even the box itself, look at this. If we go over to eBay, so you saw that it was an alpha starter pack. Okay, if we look here, alpha, okay, MTG, alpha starter deck box, just the box itself. People will pay $69 for an empty box, all beat up, well used. Oh, the terrible printing on the back. Magic the Gathering is the first in the Deckmaster series of collectible trading card games from Wizards of the Coast, featuring 300 different cards. That must be actually a beta. Yeah, it is beta. There's beta. Technically, Alpha didn't have 300. It had 297 cards. Then they added No, it was like 295. Because then they added one new land to the 5. Right? There were only 2 arts of the swamp, 2 arts of the plains, two of them all. Then for beta, they made one more art of each of the 5. Plus they added in Circle of Protection Black, which they forgot to add on alpha, and one of the dual lands, and that brought it up to 301 cards. So now they could say, featuring 300 different cards. This is a fantasy game of epic proportions. Some cards are fairly common, some uncommon, some very rare. Every player has their own personal deck. Challenge your friends, build a reputation, or participate in tournament play. There is always more for you to discover in Magic the Gathering, so remember, your opponent is never defeated until the last life point has been taken. That's funny and anticlimactic and too obvious. Of course, it should have been something like, and remember, your opponent is never defeated until they know your wrath. Something like that. Not literally. Your opponent is never defeated until they are dead. Yeah, no problem. Just jumping to different topics is perfectly fine. So, an empty beat-up box of beta is $70, and is this for real? Alpha starter decks empty, alpha empty, $500 US. So your brother-in-law might not be as much of an egg as you think. Is it a real box? 30-year-old box of alpha starter? Because if it is, and we're talking this, right? We're not talking about the box, right? The box that has the 36 packs. Are we talking about the starter deck or a box of alpha? Because apparently this one is on sale right now for $479. Huh. Is this alpha? Because it also says on the back 300. And I thought that was only 300 on alpha, on beta. WOC 6000, that's also the serial number to identify it. Does this beta one is WC 6000? So I think this person is selling something wrong, either on accident or on purpose. If this has been identified as beta and it's got WOC 6000 and this person claims alpha, but it also says WOC 6000 and it says the 300, someone might be trying to sell the wrong thing. And another one over here, Magic empty pack and box empty. Let's see this one, plus rulebook. So the original rulebook with Bog Wraith on the cover, a fantasy trading card game by Richard Garfield, PhD. They really wanted to sell that the inventor of Magic is a PhD in numerology or something like that. But okay, so is this... We don't have a back shot of it. Ooh, we don't have a back picture of it. If this was an actual alpha, we would have to look on the back, because I don't think we can fully identify it from the front. Those probably look exactly the same. But if it showed the back and it said, I don't know, WOC 5000 or whatever that one was, we would be able to confirm that actually is a $900 empty box of Magic cards. Everything has a value. So at the moment there are 3 supposed empty boxes of alpha for sale. Now people can ask for whatever they want. Okay, this one claims over here alpha, beta, unlimited, and revised. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so the unlimited and revised said revised and unlimited. Okay, and then both of those right there, they look the same, but let's see the back. That one says 300, WOC 6000, 6000. Ooh, 6100. Yep, that's how you tell them apart. Look at that. WOC 6000, WOC 6100. Plus the color's different. That's how you tell it's actual alpha. And can we read what it says? Oops. Get out of the way. Magic the Gathering. Huh, that one also says more than 300 different. Okay, I guess I was wrong. I thought that alpha didn't say 300 because it literally didn't have 300 because they didn't have the the lands in the COP black and the dual that put it under. But we can tell yellow text, black text, and on the corner there, WOC 6100. So, yep, there we go. We just learned something there. People will buy empty boxes of alpha and beta and such for hundreds of dollars or euros. So don't tell your brother-in-law that if they got it for $5, don't tell them that it's actually worth 10 times more than that, possibly. All right, so back to some photography here. You got whooped at Fortnite, pro player night apparently. You lasted a while though, in 1 or 2, but tough luck. Sometimes they come in waves. Sometimes the ringers come in and stomp the regular folks. Okay, so that was the photo in black and white. Let's see about seeing it in color. So I'm doing the manual color reversal. That one automatically sort of is the darker version with slightly bluer turns or tones. An awesome shot with the motorcyclist. Thanks, it was the last shot. I was getting to the very end of the roll and I wanted to take that shot and I was kind of following them a little bit. It's always takes practice that if you follow a subject and take a photo of it, and my settings were not quite right for full sharpness, because if you look at it at 100%, it's not a sharp image compared to the other one. So even the stationary building, it's not as sharp. And then also, so the biker is not as sharp. But if you're looking at it like this at the full view, it looks fine. So now that you've seen it up close, he admitted it's a print of some of his computer. He hit it when he does. Aw, man, you're gonna have to beat him. Okay. I did something like that to someone where I printed out something and it looked real and such. And I did that prank once and I didn't quite do it again because that's way too harsh of a prank. Okay, so then here we'll do auto color and we get that result, which we get into some sort of yellows. Maybe brighten it up a little bit. Maybe do a little warming over here. Looks good. Bring up the brightness. There we go. Like that. So that was the last shot I took on that photo walkabout. A biker by the Westin Hotel. Hey, is that the one we were just talking about, Gabe? Does that look familiar? Is that where you're at? Where you were at when you said you were a valet back in the day? Were you at the Westin? Does any of this look familiar? Now this one is at, let's see, where's it at on the map? So what did we do here? Maps. Okay, so on the previous shots over here, where did I go? Okay, that one was shot here. So this is where I was at a moment ago, going south, and then at the corner of this, looking south at that person's sculpture. Okay, so then I took a left, standing there, which is to the right. I then started to walk on this street right here. This street. I came over here. I crossed over here, kept going this way, over here. went this way. And here it is. The shadows make it a little harder to see. But I believe I was on this street corner here. Hold on. Oh, no, here it is. Weston. There it is. Okay. Oh, they have a pool right there. Look at that. So on my shot right here, this awning, or not awning, but this patio or whatever where the flags are at, right above that, according to the map, is a pool. Wow, look at those buildings. So I must have been right on this corner here. And the biker was on that side right over there. And then there's the Weston sign right there. The flags don't appear. Actually, can we do a street view on this? Traffic, street side. Yeah, let's try to do a street side. Okay. So I was standing right here. How do you do street side? Oh, there we go. All right. Right there. So I was on this street corner or so, looking that way. There's the Weston, and the biker was there. There it is from above, and then from my street level, there it is. Yeah, a little change of pace. I wanted to see something slightly different, because I've got so many photos, and the thing is, I see my photos, and I upload some of them sometimes to Reddit and various places, I guess, but I haven't really shown too many people the photos. I was at a friend get-together yesterday, and I showed some of these photos to them, but what is art if it isn't seen? If a bear makes art in the woods, did they actually, and no one's around to see it, did they actually make art? The W is different hotel, close to the B Street, if you remember, in Santa Fe Depot. This one is there. If we look on the map, this is that W, the Weston, and then if you go 2 blocks down right here, there's the Santa Fe Depot right there. And you said also B? What street is this? This is West Broadway. And you said close to B Street. Where is B Street? Kettner. West B Street over here. There's the depot over there. So were you north of the depot or south of the depot? Because south is where the Weston is, right here. Right here. And maybe it's sometimes some of these hotels have different names for their big fancy one and the slightly less fancy one. So I don't doubt. Maybe there's the Weston and the W, and it's on different blocks, but there's the depot, and then there's the B Street over here, so maybe one of these somewhere. Do any of these say something about that? There was or still is a Karl Strauss on the map. There's a Stone Brewing right there. Brewery. There's a Karl Strauss right there. Yeah, I think we're talking about the same place. They probably just updated their logo since you were there. When was that at? How long ago were you? You said back in the day, so I'm assuming, what, 20 years ago? 15 years ago? So they might have changed the logo. All right, so that was that last shot from that walkabout. Some other shots over here. let's look at some of these shots. So there's some new construction south of the mall, south of the Otay Ranch Mall. There's new construction in that community, Millennia, and I went around there and took some shots. So this was with a different camera. This was my Canon Rebel G. You can see it over here. Canon Rebel G. The black one. So this is the one that I used for these photos that I'm going to show. This was my first real camera. I got this, no one in my family can remember exactly, but the year 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere around there, I asked for Christmas, hey, this would be my present that I might want. And so I got this Rebel G, and as per the wiki, this debuted in 96, released between 96 and 99. So when I got this, it was already probably one step not as new. That's why my folks got it for me, I suppose. And I used it for years. Then I got the next model number or something, and then eventually I went to digital. So I still have this one and the one that was one level up, but that one that was one level up broke, and I forgot when that happened 15 years ago. And when I took out when I got back into photography this last year, I took them both out and I went with the newer one first, and I tried to use it, and then I remembered, oh, this one broke. So then I went back to this one that I had even before that, and that one still worked. So the one from 99 still worked compared to the one from 02 or 04, whenever I got that. And so these photos that I'm going to show here come from that camera. Now also, the photography is the results are dependent on the film stock. So on this one, this was Fuji 400, the ones I was just showing of downtown, Fuji 400. And so Fuji film versus Kodak film versus Ilford film, they all have kind of their own innate tones and the like. And the ISO rating is how sensitive they are to dark and light colors. So ISO 400 is very sensitive, so you don't need a lot of light to capture the image. So a 400 film it works good in daylight, works good indoors. This one I'm going to show here is an ISO 100, so it's good for outdoors, not good for indoors. So I was outdoors, I was on a nice bright sunny day. And this brand is SantaColor. SantaColor is I think they're Swedish, and you can go over here, they, quote, invented this new film, SantaColor 100. They had an Indiegogo campaign to fund it. These scrappy independent company in Sweden or Norway or somewhere needed to invent this film, so they asked for money, and they got it. They got $212,000 from 1,446 people. I was one of the funders of that as well, so I got five rolls of it, and now they're all sold out, so I should probably resell them on eBay. But these photos I'm going to show are from this brand new film, and so it's good for big bright color, big bright sunny days, not good for indoors and the like. And so these shots are from this construction zone, and let me open up this one. So I shot this one with my Canon Rebel G with the variable zoom lens. The Konica is a fixed zoom, it's always the same 48mm, but this Canon with a variable zoom can let me go in close or wide angle, and I shot most of these at wide angle. So without really any extra color fixing. Here is that result. Very yellow, but that red pops. And the sharpness of all of this. The scaffolding and the frames and everything back there. Everything is really sharp. You see the tire treads and even you see even the pattern in the metal there in that grill. Count each one of those nuts on the wheel. All right, so let's see about doing some more color work. So you can see that the borders are not the same orange that the other film was. So that was one of the things people were saying online, that the film base itself is different, which affects your color work. But let's see what we get here. So I do the manual color neutralization and then reverse. We get that. Do the automatic color reversal or color neutralization, color cast neutralization. Reverse. I think the automatic one is way better. I'm seeing the same thing again that we saw on the all the other ones about the automatic versus the manual. The manual seems to be darker, maybe more saturated, and then the automatic seems to be lighter and yellower. But here I think it works a lot better. The manual here where it's darker, I don't think is as nice as this brighter version. Let me ask all of you. Let me show it side by side. Which one do you like better? These. Alright, so we have on the left the manual process, which is a little darker, and on the right side is the automatic process, which is a little brighter. Also, the color tones are a little bit shifted. There's a kind of greener on the left, which I don't think I like as much. And on the right side, it's more yellows and the like, which I think I'm liking better. So which one of those do we like better a little bit? You like this shot a lot, the blue one. You like the blue one a little bit more? So the blue one on the left, the yellow one on the right. I think on the downtown ones from a moment ago it was the same sort of thing. Do you like the blue one more or the yellow one more? I think a lot of you are saying you like the blue one more, the darker one more. Here I'm kind of gravitating more towards the yellow one, the brighter one on the right. This feels more gray on the right. Actually, wait a minute. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. Hey, what happened there? Were you not seeing what I was showing? I was showing... That's weird. Hold on. Huh. It's not showing what I thought I was showing. I'm showing two things side by side. Can you all see that, or do you see the one image? I'm showing two images side by side. It's supposed to be two images. There it is. Huh. You were just seeing one image this whole time? Huh, okay, that's weird. I was doing a whole bunch of things, actually. So it got stuck for one thing. That's weird. I should have seen my control panel here. So now you should be seeing two things at once, right? That's what I've been showing for a few minutes, not the one image. Yeah, that was odd. Okay, well, this is what I was showing. now it makes sense what I'm asking. The one on the left, the one on the right. Now there's the dark one on the left, the light one on the right. The one on the left is a little bit bluish, a little bit, I think actually more greenish. The one on the right is a little bit more yellowish, brighter, sunnier. So now you're seeing what I wanted you to see. Not the one image, but these two side by side. So what I was saying earlier, when I zoomed in, I was noting the sharpness of this, that you can see even here these fine lines, or here these vents, and the treads of the tires. I think I like more the one on the right, the one that's toward the yellows. Yep, I like how that came out. So I've been streaming for about 2 hours now. I said I was not going to go the full 3 hours on this. But I'll do a couple more photos here and then wrap it up. And again, we'll get back to magic next time. But I wanted to do a little bit different here, show off some of these photos, some of this process behind the scenes of working with photos. So let me open this one of this crow. Okay, that's working properly. So I'm gonna open this camera that I was showing. You could do a wide angle or more zoomed in. So here I think this one was more of a zoom in. There was this crow on top of this sign. Let's see what it looks like in real color. So first we'll neutralize the color cast. So neutralize. Then we'll reverse. Then we will do a color, one more color fix here. Auto color. It seems kind of too normal. Documentary. Not extremely dramatic color and the like. Yeah, maybe we'll throw in some of these changes in stream stuff. Just marveling on the sharpness. I can see the reflective coating on that sign, those vertical lines there. You can even see the texture of the base of that. You can see every LED light in the sign. Right, where's this on the map? The map is not going to be accurate. Well, I think it's going to be slightly accurate. So, zooming out, we're going away from downtown San Diego. We're going back south, 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 south. We're going to go east on the 54, east, east, east inland. We're going to get over to the Sweetwater Reservoir, take us south on the 125. There's my house right there, don't look too carefully. Then further south. There you go, Otay Ranch Mall. And then here it is. So, looking at the map like this, just overall big, we have all of these neighborhoods, and then wilderness. This map is not accurate anymore because now they're doing new construction on this, which was wilderness. So you can see here, all the little gray squares are buildings. And of course the white are roads. Here there's just roads, delineated roads. There's no buildings yet. There are buildings there now, but the map is out of date. How does it look like on satellite? Yeah, see, it's still fallow land. This is a pretty old map. Okay, here's the Otay Ranch Mall. Here's where Gabe took his photo that I showed earlier. Right there. So see, there's the logo of the mall from Gabe's photos that we saw earlier. There's the round, you can kind of see it in the shadow there. So there's the round logo, then there's the long of it there. And then well, definitely all this concrete here this is a big old mall, so it's all paved up. And yeah, even between the houses and such, it's a lot of roads, but there's greenery. So across, so here's the mall. We can even zoom in here. Here's where we play Magic. Here's the food court, and then across the way, probably on that corner right there, is Fanboy Gaming. So we're looking right there to their shop. So across the street, this map is old. It still shows. I remember that pit. This is old because this has definitely been constructed. There's the Best Buy. I remember. No, the Best Buy is right here. I remember taking photos. Yeah, they're barely filling in the foundations of those houses. This map is very old. Even these trees right here, they're still the delivered trees that haven't been fanned out yet or fluffed up. So all this is an old map. Yeah, it's still the dirt. So where I'm taking my photo, I believe I'm at, I think I'm at Stylus Street here, Artisan. One of these street names here has the name of, oh, here we go, Transit Gateway. Here's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm taking a picture of this bird on this sign right there, on this cross street sign that I guess is not even constructed yet. That I believe I was right here maybe, and then looking in that direction, and there it is. Or actually, there it is. So Transit Guideway. That's looking south because it's crossing. So the map is. I think I was right here. And this street light here, south, because this is Transit Guideway, south. And so my photo, Transit Guideway, south. There's an ice, yeah, they added an ice skating rink. No one was skating just yet. Yeah, people are not used to it. Like ice and snow in San Diego, what is this? So no one's skating there at the moment. Okay, so here's the image. Here's this crow. If we zoom in, the shape of that crow came out really nice. Right on the signs. Then I looked to my left. So there, then look to the left, was this, which on the map is that direction right there, do not enter, which again, when this map shot was taken, there was nothing here. Just wind blowing on asphalt. That wasn't even constructed yet, so I'm looking to the left. And that's this photo, so let's work on this one a bit. I'm going to neutralize color cast. Actually, that color is not, that is not enough of a base to neutralize. Okay, interesting. Cancel. If there's no base to neutralize, then the color should be pretty accurate. But let's see under auto neutralize. That changed it. Okay, that gets me thinking, so I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to do this one, which would have been the hand neutralization there, and then the auto neutralization there. A very blue, a little redder and brighter crop. So how has the music been that I've been playing so far? No one has said anything that it was too loud, which is good. So this music that's been playing in the background so far has been all right music to have while we Photoshop it up. So okay, that looks better. It's not as blue. And if we go to this one and do that technique, that takes away a little bit of the yellow-ish. That's interesting. That sort of gives it higher contrast versus weaker contrast. Again, a person could spend so much time just on figuring out what they like versus what they don't, because that's, oops, that is here. This is a this is its own rabbit hole here, where this is invert, and then this is invert plus a little bit more color correction. Okay, let me ask all of you, what do you like here to compare? Let me show these two side by side. So we have the options of on the left is only invert, on the right is invert plus extra color fixing. So on the right, I think the big difference is, I think the colors are very similar, but on the right it's more contrast, on the left it's less contrast. Kind of looks more vintage, like a photo that was discovered in an old family album on the left versus a photo taken more recently. Maybe, I don't know, am I inventing that? Am I imagining a vibe or an aesthetic there? Because on the left side, it feels like a more old, vintage, beat-up photo that was taken 30 years ago. And on the right, it's a slightly newer photo. And again, maybe even both already have that vibe, and I'm adding, or I'm seeing too much there. But if we zoom in a little bit, so kind of comparing here. So what do you all think? What do you like there, left versus right? The shadows on the right are a little bit cleaner, a little bit more neutral. The shadows on those buildings there are more gray, like a shadow, whereas the shadows on the left here are more yellowish. So overall, the one on the left just gets more yellow. And the one on the right, again, well, it was the same process. It's not about one is bluer, one is yellower. Both of them were the yellower process, but then one is more yellow than yellow, and one is just yellow. I think I like the one on the left. I bounce back and forth between them, actually. I look at them both and I like them, and then I look at one and I like more one, and then I look at the other one and I like that one too. Decisions. And even that got nice and sharp. You can even read. Start crossing, watch for vehicles. Don't start. Something crossing started, remaining, cross. So on that map, these buildings didn't even exist. You like the one on the left a little bit more for that warmer touch. Oh, look at that, I see a UFO, alien creature up on the sky. I need to sell this photo to the National Enquirer. I just found proof of alien extraterrestrial life. So on the left, yeah, it is that yellower tones around. I like that even, obviously it's buildings, but as a photo, cropping it extremely like this, it's just these abstract shapes. It's like a cubist, Pablo Picasso. Unsolved Mysteries, that show used to scare me. That opening music theme song was just so scary. There was a show, do you remember the show on Fox called Sightings? It was Fox's version of Unsolved Mysteries. It was called Sightings, and it focused even more. Unsolved Mysteries had true crime things, but Sightings was focused more on paranormal things. And I remember I would morbidly watch that, and it would scare me so much. Back in the day, I used to be so scared of horror movies and all that scary stuff. Sightings, yeah, I used to watch it too. So I was saying here, even this, it's buildings and the like, but this is almost an abstract cubist thing. You didn't know about Sightings? Let's see if we can find it on YouTube as we wrap up. I guess as we go down to wrap up the stream today, I'll put this, which will probably then YouTube won't like it copyrighted, or yeah. But let's see if I can find it easily here. Old Fox show Sightings. Sightings from 1992. I want to see the intro, not an episode. But what was the intro? Because the intro was scary too. Old Fox show Sightings. Oh, this was it. It's 30 minutes, so it must be a complete episode. Okay, let's do this. Let me pause the music here. And let's watch this show for a moment. Just the intro part of it. 1992.
The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information. Tonight on Sightings was the shocking murder of a teenage girl foretold in her own mother's mystery novel.
I had more or less written the story of our own true life horror story.
And psychic contact with the dead girl helped solve the crime. Then, from our UFO file, bizarre men in black stalk witnesses who have had UFO sightings.
His eyes were...
Now remember, this was before the movie Men in Black, so that was a very new term at that point. This is 1992. The Men in Black movie debuted, what, in 1998 or so?
Extremely long. They literally wrapped around his temples.
Startling new evidence and exclusive videotape reveals the sinister motives behind the MIB phenomenon. And a tragic car crash left this boy in a coma until a dog brought him back to life.
He licked me, did not wake up.
Oh, I ran to this open.
It started to appear.
Oh no, this is scary.
They had large, dark eyes, claw-like hands.
I began sensing and knowing
It's all
and
coming
feeling.
back to me.
I do believe in life after death. I mean, I've been there.
We have not
This is way
scratched the
scarier
surface of
than
what
the opening
mind
of
can do.
Unsolved Mysteries.
It's a connection with the unknown.
I haven't seen that opening in literally 30 years. But that was something that I would watch. Me and my brother would watch that whenever that came out, Friday nights, Saturday nights, or something 30 years ago, and have all the lights on and be scared and everything. But that show, I'm not going to watch anymore. I'm already scared. But that's the show that it was. Turn on all your lights, Gabe. Turn them all on. Let's get back to a nice bright sunny day here. But that was a show that. How did we get started talking about? Oh yeah, because I said I took a photo right here of a spacecraft. But that was one of those shows. It was the X-Files. The X-Files would debut the following year. The X-Files debuted in '93. Now that's 30 years ago. But the X-Files, I loved the X-Files, and I always had this morbid. I always had this morbid curiosity of horror movies and alien movies and all of that. And back in the day, I was scared of that stuff. And, you know, I'm a grown-up now, so I'm less scared of it now. But, this was my recent photo journey. And I'm liking the results of the various cameras and the film that I used. Our subject here, so be on the lookout, Stevie and Gabe, when I put out the word about, hey everyone, let's meet up for a photo journey, and we'll meet up, a bunch of us, and take some photos. This will be the last photo that I play around with, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, so first, adjust. Actually, let's do this one in black and white. So we'll set this one to just basic black and white, and then reverse. It's kind of high key, too bright overall. So then we'll go to tweak some settings, blue filter. So blue filter versus default, that's kind of nice. Then green filter. Green filter brightens things up in total. Red filter, similar to green. Actually, it's just so subtle when you look at them side by side, these subtle differences. I think I liked blue. What about blue high contrast? Ooh, that's very dramatic. Is it too much? So regular blue, and then a dramatic blue. I think that works because then it separates it from that sky. It was a plain kind of sky. Nothing, kind of vaguely a bit overcast possibly, or maybe not too much. There's some shadow there. So this is kind of creating a, kind of like a glow around everything. Do I want that? It's more pronounced there, almost like a glow to where the sun hits it. You can kind of see a little halo effect. Yeah, it's still under construction. This is the final step before they put the walls up. This is the skeleton of the building. Here's one more fancy thing to do. So let's say we do make it black and white like that, but then I tint it, give it a little bit of a tint over here. This is known as split toning. Let's jump over here. So if I go to split tone over here, sepia, not too dramatic. I've seen it on others that it's a little bit blue-ish. I don't know if I like that too much. just before and after. Maybe if I don't have such a high contrast. Try something here. So if I don't do such a high contrast starting image, then I do the tinting, almost like a blueprint. Maybe because of my cool glasses, I don't see the blue a lot. It seemed more yellowish. That I wasn't. Here I can kind of see more blue tones. So if I didn't, especially in the shadows, if I didn't do the high contrast and then I did the tinting, I kind of like that a little bit. The high contrast on its own I think looked okay, and then when I went to tint plus high contrast I didn't quite like that, but then if I didn't high contrast then tint, I kind of like that. And we see all of this detail, the scaffolding and the skeleton of the building. That's funny. This fence is wrapping around completely all around the block. It's encasing the stop sign. It's just kind of funny to me that it's trapped inside of the fence, but it's directing people outside of the fence. And if I crop it just to be the image, I personally sometimes like when there's that extra edges around the image about the original negative and all of that. But then if we just focus on the image like that, we don't have that distraction, for example. Okay, so we'll wrap up at this point. That's a 2-hour stream or so on some photography fun. The other hobby that I got into, the latest hobby that I got into last year in 2022, film photography. We'll add it to the pile. Magic the Gathering, comic books, cooking, television, I guess. So lots of hobbies. And the latest one is photography. So those are my latest photography exploits. I have plenty of other photos and cameras to show off. Maybe some other time. Maybe we'll put this into the stream once in a while. We'll definitely do magic again next week, so be back on that. I uploaded a video a couple of days ago on some comics I got recently, so if you want to check out some comics I got recently, magic video coming soon, kind of switching between those here and there, magic, comics, photography. That's what's coming up on the YouTube. So thanks everyone for coming to hang out. Hope you have a great rest of the day or night, whatever your time may be. Have a good day tomorrow and a good week. I'll be back on the next stream. Now on this I don't have any of the exit opening intro songs or anything like that, so I'm just gonna cut the stream because again this is not a regular magic stream, so there's no intro thing of it all. So a cooking stream, I have to do so much setup on that, put the cameras in the kitchen and all of this, and I thought about doing that, just so much setup, but if the people demand it, maybe there will be that one day. So no exit music and such. It's just a see you later everyone next time, and